We do want to begin with the questions and fallout from the deadly mass shooting at a Mexican tourist attraction that left one Canadian woman dead and another wounded. We did just get an update from officials in Mexico, and we'll get more on that in just a moment. But also, we know that the Prime Minister spoke about the shooting on his way into Cabinet on Parliament Hill.
Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the individual who was tragically killed. It's a terrible circumstance. I very much appreciate President Sheinbaum's personal attention to the matter, and we're working with Mexican authorities on the situation, but it's a sad day.
The shooting happened at the Teotihuacán pyramids just outside Mexico City. Authorities say 13 people were injured by the gunfire, including a second Canadian woman who's aged 26. The name of the Canadian who was killed has not yet been released. Investigators say the gunman is also dead after turning the gun on himself. So let's again locate where this all happened for you. Now, this tourist site, these pyramids, are located just northeast of Mexico City. Well over 1 million tourists visit that site every year. And the iconic archaeological park had been put forward for a fan experience event during this summer's FIFA World Cup, which is being co-hosted by Mexico. So now for the very latest on what we've heard, of course, from Mexican officials, and also the latest on this investigation, we turn to the CBC's Jorge Barrera. He joins us live from Mexico City. So Jorge, take us through what we know so far and what we've learned about the shooting.
Yes, we're getting more details about the nightmare that unfolded yesterday. We were told this morning that events began to unfold at around 11:20 a.m. Reports about a man with a gun at the Pyramid of the Moon. National Guard elements responded and arrived at the scene at around 11:30. And that's when these videos started to circulate on social media, where you saw this man on top of this pyramid with a gun, stalking, walking back and forth, firing into the air, and then seeing groups of tourists cowering before him. And we actually managed to reach a Canadian who spoke about the panic that was unfolding. Have a listen to this.
We actually heard what we thought were fireworks or firecrackers, and we were in front of a vendor, and somebody asked, was that gunfire? And the vendor said, yes, that's gunfire, run. And we saw people streaming off the top, going down the stairs, and then people dropping from the side on the right-hand side, which was an awful thing to see.
So after the carnage, one Canadian was left dead. 13 people were injured, including 7 from gunshots, including a Canadian that we are told underwent surgery last night. We also got more information about the identity of the gunman, 27-year-old Julio Cesar Jasso Ramirez. He was armed with a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver. He had over 50 bullets on him. He managed to reload twice. Authorities say that they found over 20 shells at the scene, and he left 13 people who were eventually hospitalized with various injuries, gunshots, some from falls, from various nationalities, including Dutch, Colombian, and from the United States. We also heard more information about the injury that the Canadian sustained. Authorities said that a bullet entered her leg and went into the abdomen, the stomach.
And certainly we're learning so much just also about the shooter himself. And when you point out how the nationalities that were at this tourist site, that really speaks to how popular it is, because we know, as you mentioned, Canadians, Americans, those from Colombia, from Brazil, from the Netherlands, all among those who were identified as being involved as victims here from Mexican officials. But we also did, to your point, learn a little bit more about the motive behind this action as well, the potential motive. What did investigators say about that?
Well, they're terming this a copycat shooting, copycatting the school shootings in America, in the United States, in particular the 1999 April Columbine shooting in Colorado. They're saying that this individual was found with various images, including an AI-altered images with those 2 shootings. Authorities are saying that this shooter acted alone. There's no indication that there was any coordination with anybody else, but these are still preliminary investigative findings. Right now, authorities are still at this morning press conference. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum does these every morning, and this press conference is dedicated specifically to this. So more information is coming out. There's a lot of national attention on this because this archaeological site is a national treasure. It's one of the most famous tourist spots in all of Mexico, and this tourist site is now closed until further notice.
Thanks for this. That is the CBC's Jorge Barrera in Mexico City.